So, chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita is called as Bhakti Yoga, which is devotional service. Let us pay our obeisances to Shishi, Radha Govinda of ISKCON Mangalore, so that we understand Bhagavad Gita in right context and in right mode. Let us also get blessings, so that whatever we learn stays with us and we don't forget it. Hare Krishna. So, okay, just going to be like chapter 11, Arjuna was attached to the two-handed form. And chapter 12 is going to talk about the devotional service. Arjuna being, see, if you remember, like we discussed, Arjuna was really terrified by seeing the universal form. So he wants Krishna to show the original form, which is two-handed form, because he is very much attached. Like we saw, Arjuna is in the Sakya Rasa, which is one of the primary rasa. Okay, and he is always attached only to this two-handed form. But now Arjuna is going to ask some question. After hearing and seeing Lord in personal opulence, Arjuna again wants to hear about the devotional service. He wants to clarify the position as a devotee who works for Krishna as opposed to Jnani, and to clarify his position as being attached to personal form as superior to the universal form or the unmanifested Brahman. So the chapter 12 is going to open with the verse from Arjuna asking question. Arjuna is attached to the original form, right? But now he wants to clarify. In, like we said, Arjuna wants to put forward this question so that the people who are going to come thousands of years later like us, they should have a clarity which form is better, worshipping the universal form or worshipping the unmanifested, the Brahman form, or worshipping the personal form. Which form is better? Because in chapter 11, Krishna has showed everything. So now Arjuna wants to have some clarity. Okay, that is how the chapter is going to go. And these are the sections. Let's go one by one. Arjuna uvacha evam satatayukta ye bhaktastvām paryupasate ye chapyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Arjuna inquired, which is considered to be more perfect, those who are properly engaged in your devotional service or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? So Arjuna wants to clear his clarification. Like, what is the best form of worship? Is it worshipping the personal form or the Brahman, unmanifested? Okay. So there are two classes of transcendentalist. Personalist engage himself with all the energy in the service of Supreme Lord, and the impersonalist engage in the meditation on the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. So that is, if you see, there is a different school of thought who thinks that the absolute truth is this impersonal thing, which is like the Jyoti, or they meditate on the void. So, and they think that is the ultimate Brahman. Okay, that's why they interpret the Vedas also incorrectly, saying Aham Brahmasmi, right? So, yes, everybody is the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, the Brahman, but they interpret the saying Aham Brahmasmi. Okay, so actually they think that we are all Brahman, so their ultimate aim is to go and merge with the Brahman. Okay, so they always meditate on the Brahman. Those people are called as, there are two kinds. Either they are like Mayavadis or Brahmavadis. Okay, one of the class in the past, we saw what is the difference between this Mayavadi and the Brahmavadi. Brahmavadi has nothing against this personal form. They are not aware that this absolute truth is a personal. They think that this absolute truth is just Brahman. They don't have knowledge beyond it. Okay, but they worship the Brahman. But there is a difference between the Mayavadi, because Mayavadi does not consider the absolute truth to be a personal, even though until chapter 11, in many of the verses, Krishna would have said that Aham, I, okay, which means a personal. He has clearly pointed out that it is the personal form which is this great. He never proclaimed that the Brahman form is great, but they misinterpret, and they also deride the fact that absolute truth can be a personal. They think that if at all the absolute truth comes to this material world, when they take absolute truth take a human form, they think that it is also due to Maya. which is Maya is something which is not. So they don't accept it and they ridicule it. So because they go against this personal form of the Lord, they are called as Mayavadis. They will never be able to attain the Brahman. At least the Brahmavadis will be able to attain the Brahman. They have nothing against this personal form. Because the Mayavadi have something against. They don't consider at all that the absolute truth can be a person. They think that it is made up of only Maya, which is not. Okay, so that's why they are called as Mayavadis. So, I'm just trying to differentiate between these two types of impersonalist who worship the Brahman. Even Mayavadis worship the Brahman, but their concept of the personal form is incorrect. But the Brahmavadi, they worship Brahman because they don't have any knowledge about the personal form. That's the difference between them. And now Krishna is going to answer Arjuna's question. Arjuna, what did he ask? He wants to know what is the best form of worship, because Arjuna, being in a Sakyarasa, he's already attached to Krishna in this two-handed form. Okay, so he will just want to clarify his position. Okay, he can't take this universal form. He is not able to worship at all. Though he offered prayers towards the end, what did he say? Krishna, I'm not able to take it anymore. Please come back to your original form, right? So he wants to clarify what is the best form of worship. Okay, and let's see how the Gita also in various chapters signify that the personal form of worship is the greatest. Living entity is the spiritual spark, absolute truth is the spiritual whole. Okay, and in 6 we saw like chapter 6 concluded with saying Yoginam api sarvesham madgate antaratmana. So that is the first time Krishna revealed that madgate antaratmana, who worship me. Of all the yogis, who worship me. When Krishna says me, it is the personal form. It's not the unmanifested form. And even in 7th chapter, it says living entity is the part and parcel of whole, recommends one to transfer his full attention. And in 8, anyone who thinks of Krishna at the time of death, right? Antakalecha mam eva. That's how Krishna would have said it. So when many times Krishna has said me, my abode, mine, right? So which means it's signify the personal form of the Lord. So only way to have association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is through devotional service. Proceeding further, Krishna is going to respond to Arjuna's question. Maya veshamano ye mam nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetas te me yuktastamamataha. The Lord said, he whose mind is fixed on my personal form, always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith, is considered by me to be the most perfect. See, straightforward answer. Krishna is saying, whoever is engaged in worshipping the personal form, he is considered to be the perfect. Okay, so why most perfect? Because if you see here, it says he is considered to be the most perfect. Why is it so? Because they fix their mind in the personal form, always engaged in the worshipping of the Lord, worship me with great and transcendental faith. And they just don't worship just like that. They have the faith. Because they have all these characteristics, they are considered to be more perfect because their faith is not shaken, and even their devotional service, whatever they do, it is not just wobbly. Okay, so it is very strong. So action in Krishna consciousness is like the activities are not material because everything is done for Krishna. So even though outwardly it might look okay, even if devotees, right, even if they are working or even if they are trying to take care of the family, right, it might look like just like any other karma kande people, they are also working, but why are they doing these activities? They will not do these activities for their own self-enjoyment. They will think, okay, I am working because I am working for the service of Krishna. Whatever the earnings they get or whatever the results they get, they will offer to Krishna. Similarly, they will treat their family members as the part and parcel of Krishna. So they always have Krishna in their focal point, because they act in such a way that they are not working for their self-enjoyment. Their activities are all Krishna conscious activities. It is done for the service of the Lord. Okay, that's why they are not entangled. We have seen this multiple times, even in the until chapter 6, how they are not, why we have to do a karma, right? A pure devotee is in full samadhi because of his constant engagement. That is, chant, hear, cook, shop, wash, whatever, temple or exit. Do not waste single moment. So they always have Krishna in the focal point. But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, fixed and immovable, the impersonal conception of absolute truth by controlling the various sense and being equally disposed to everyone, such person engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. Okay, whoever is worshipping, okay, this we have to understand. Here Krishna is talking about those person who are fixed in the Brahman form, right? Here they are, Krishna is talking about the Brahmavadis, okay? Mayavadis, they can never attain this Brahman because their idea on their concept, it's all wrong. They never understood. Whoever does not take up that personal form, who does not believe that absolute truth can also be personal, okay, and they also ridicule that, thinking it is made up of Maya, right? Their basic idea itself is incorrect, okay? So even though they all aim to merge within the Brahman, they will never be able to get. So we are, whatever Krishna is talking about, this impersonalism, or the whoever is talking about um, person who is focusing on the Brahman, Krishna is focusing only on the, talking about only about the Brahmavadis. Okay, so just have that in mind. So what is Krishna saying? Even, okay, they are able to do it, they will able to focus. After long time, they will achieve the destination. Okay, engaged in fair, at last they will achieve the destination. Okay. So why it is very large? Why it takes a lot of time? Let's see what is the reason Acharyas try to give. Characteristics of impersonal conception of absolute truth. It's unmanifested beyond sense perception, right? It's unmanifested. It does not, Brahman does not have any form. Like that, the light does not have any form. How long can we meditate on the unmanifested? Not everybody will be able. It's not that impossible. But why we say that Bhakti Yoga is easy? Because it's easy for everybody to take it up, easy for everybody to follow. Even a common man can take it up. But to meditate on the unmanifested form, it really takes lots of pre-work to be done. Like this Dhyana Yoga, we saw that just like that, nobody can take into Dhyana Yoga when we saw the chapter 6, right? They have to get rid of the Karma Kandya thing. First, they have to follow the Nishkama Karma Yoga, and then Sakama Karma Yoga, Nishkama. There is a yoga ladder we saw, right? Nishkama Karma Yoga, and then eventually they have to get rid of all their anarthas, and then we saw there are 8 stages of this Dhyana Yoga, right? That's why it is called as the Ashtanga Yoga. So not many people be able to take it up. So whoever is able to control, whoever is able to go through, and it is not easy in this age of Kali Yuga when our lifespan itself is not guaranteed. Nobody knows if they are able to live for at least 80, 90 years. So it's very hard to achieve this. So that's why they say it's very hard to focus on the unmanifested form. Beyond sense perception, right? And all pervading, inconceivable. It's like concept. How long can we meditate on some concept? Correct? Unchanging, fixed, and immovable. How to worship the unmanifested? By controlling various senses. That's what we saw. It is one of the anga in the Ashtanga Yoga. Being equally disposed to everybody by engaging in welfare of all. Difficult for any common man. Much penance involved before the ultimate realization of full surrender takes place. Right? So it's very difficult, and even before getting into this stage, we have that person has to give up so many things, that he has to do a lot of austerities for years together. Not to, it's impossible to achieve. Even if we say, if we live for 100 years, even it is within 100 years, it is impossible to achieve. So that's why what does it mean by worshipping the unmanifested form, and why it will take long time. So Krishna is saying, Kleshodikataraste-sham avyakta sakta-chetasam avyakta hikatir dukkam deha vaptir avapyate. For those whose minds are attached to unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So we saw the reasons, right? Like so many reasons. So because of all these reasons, what Krishna is saying, it is very difficult. Okay, and they will attain that destination after a long time. Whereas Krishna is saying, whoever is going to worship personal form, Krishna is going to give the comparison study. So now Krishna said, what will happen? Person who worship the unmanifested form. Now Krishna is going to say what will happen. What is the benefit of worshipping the personal form? ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्ते उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्. This is a very important verse. This is a key verse. Okay, teshamaham samurdharta. Let's see what it is. For one who worships me, giving up all his activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, who has fixed his mind upon me, O son of Pritha. For him, I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So this is a very famous picture, right? So in the ocean, how efficient, how even an athlete who has won the gold medal in Olympics, right? If he is put into the ocean, how long can he be able to swim and then get out if he's in the middle of the ocean? No, some chopper, something has to come and then lift him out. Even an expert swimmer cannot come out of the ocean if he is in the middle of the ocean. So similarly, this picture indicates when we are in this Bhavasagara. Bhavasagara is the material ocean. So material ocean, what is the medicine to come out of it? So here Krishna is saying, Teshamaham samurdharta mrityu samsara sagara bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. So I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. For whom? Who does all these things? Who worships me, like who worships Krishna, giving up all his activities unto me, being devoted to him without deviation, engaged in devotional service, always meditating on me. Mam dhyayanta upasate. So whoever is totally devoted to Krishna, worshipping the personal form, for that person, Krishna is the swift deliverer. So just like the chopper is going to come and help that expert swimmer to come out of the ocean, similarly, the Lord will come and help him out. So we can always think, we can always see. However, that a difficult task is, right? So if we are trying by ourselves, we have to put lot of efforts, we have to do everything. But if somebody is able to get also help us and pull from the other side, right? So it will be very easy for us to come out. So that's what the promise from the Lord. So Krishna will help. So now Krishna is going to talk about the progressive stages of the devotion. Now Krishna's clarified first question of Arjuna, which he said of the worshipping the personal form and also the unmanifested form, which is better. Krishna has answered that it is only worshipping the personal form. Krishna is very, for them, they will be able to attain the destination very easily because all they have to put one effort. It's like, just consider that there is a rope hanging down, okay? And if we want to climb up the rope, okay? How and to reach the final end? And if that rope is, say, for example, tied up to some window or some door, it's like we have to put all the effort, correct, to raise up, and we have to really do a strenuous job of going forward. But what if the other end of the rope, somebody is standing, right? And if somebody is holding the rope and he is also standing, and he will see that the effort which we are putting. After some time, we can always ask that person, I'm not able to move forward. I'm so tired. I'm so been exhausted. Can you please help me? So the other person has a chance that he might also pull the rope. So in the opposite direction, if somebody also pulls the rope, then we will also be able to come out of that precarious situation, or we might be also able to get to the destination quickly. So that is what it is. So Krishna, if he is also helping, we can put our effort. So what is our effort? Worship Krishna, giving up the activities devoted to him, doing devotional service and meditate on him. And if we do our part, then Krishna will do his part. What is his part? This will be the swift deliver from the ocean of birth and death. Okay, so if two people are all putting effort, then it will be easy for someone to get out. So that's why worshipping the personal form is much better than worshipping the unmanifested form. Now Krishna is going to give the details about progressive stage. It's like, so Krishna has said, let's see, Maya मय्येव मन आदत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवशिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live with me always without a doubt. So, okay. So this is the first lad. So it's though it says a progressive stage of devotional, actually Krishna is going to describe about the progressive stages of love for his devotees. Okay, let's see what. So what did Krishna say? Whoever is in the previous verse, etu sarvani mayi sanyasya matparaha. Okay, who always devoted to him and who is able to fix his mind upon him. For him, he is the swift deliverer. So that's what saying, okay, fix your mind upon me. I'm going to be a fixed deliverer. So what is it? The pure devotional, sir. Fix your mind upon me, engage all your intelligence and benefit. You will live in me always without a doubt. This is the first stage. Whoever is able to fix his mind. Okay. Now, what if a person, say for example, a person comes and say, okay, Krishna, I understand that fixing my mind upon you, you will have fixed deliver. But I can't do that. I am not in a position. So is Krishna is going to give up on those peoples? No, Krishna is going to answer them. Ata chittam samadhatum na shaknosi mahi stiram abhyasena yogena tato mamichaptum dhananjaya. O Arjuna, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, you will develop a desire to attain me. So, what is Krishna saying? Oh, really? You can't fix your mind? Yeah, we are not pure devotee yet, right? We are not yet there. So, it's not, Krishna is not giving up on them. And Krishna is also giving us a chance, right? Okay, I'm not able to fix my mind. So maybe this process is not for me. It is for someone who is more elevated. So I might go back to my original work. I might start following the Karma Kandya thing, right? So Krishna is saying, no, don't give up so easily. You know what? If you're not able to fix your mind upon me, then practice devotional service by following the regulative principles. That is what we are trying to do. Like we are trying to do the regulative principles like the sadhana bhakti. Though I am not able to fix my mind, I still chant every day. Though I am not able to see the Lord in the altar, right? We try to still do the Mangala Aarti. We still try to do the sadhana which the acharyas have prescribed for. So that we still try to do, because Mahaprabhu said, Yena kena prakarena, somehow or other, fix your mind in Krishna. So constantly, without any deviation, I am not able to fix my mind, but at least by doing this sadhana, at least at that time, I am able to focus. Okay, so Krishna is giving the concession here. So If one cannot perform pure devotional service, then follow regulative principles. How to achieve that stage of pure love? By practicing pure devotional service. And how to follow the regulation principles? Through the guidance of Guru. So that's why we follow under the footsteps of Acharya. Whatever Acharya have prescribed for us, that's why we try to follow, because we are not at there. And qualification, anyone can practice. There is no qualification or disqualification to practice bhakti. Okay, ahaituki. Okay, bhakti is ahaituki apratihata, and guarantee of success. There is surety. Like this is like you can, like they say, you can lock your joy. Like you can just fix it. You can be sure of success. If we follow the regulative principles, then we will definitely be able to progress further. Okay, then there might be even some people who say, okay, Krishna, I can't even do that. I have a lot of work to do. I can't spend a lot of time in this sadhana bhakti. My day is very busy. So Krishna is going to give up on them? No. Krishna is saying, Abhyasepya samartosi mat karma paramo bhava. Mad artam api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to perfect stage. Okay, so Krishna is saying, okay, you can't do regulative principles, you can't follow, you can't do 16 rounds, you can't do Mangalarti, you can't attend the program. Fine, no problem. Whatever work you do, try to work for me. Like we have seen some devotees, they go and distribute books. Even many, they go and distribute books because they are working for Krishna. They want to make sure that the knowledge is being reached to multiple peoples. They just don't want to benefit. Oh, okay, now they are not selfish. Oh, now I know what is the essence of life, and I will follow and I will gain the perfection of life. No, they wanted to spread. They wanted to spread the word of Krishna to others. They distribute books, or many devotees do service in the temple. They wash, they clean, or they take it up many service activities, like they preach, they take up many activities. So if I'm not able to do regulative principles, Krishna is saying that work for me. Krishna is saying, please work for me so that you can come to the perfected stage. So if I'm, it's like, how did we progress from 8th to 8th verse? Either pure devotional service. If you're not able to do pure devotional service, do regulation principle. If you cannot, then at least work for Krishna. How to perform work for Krishna? Sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna conscious movements. Every endeavor needs land, capital, organization, labor in any other business. Can help build a temple or help in publication, etc. Some way or other, the person can be helpful. If one cannot sacrifice, so this we are going to see in the next verse. So Krishna, now there can be some people who can say, okay, I can't do even this. Bhavin Prabhuji, you have any question?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Before I forget, I thought I am sorry I'm interrupting you. Mataji, there were two questions actually. One is regarding the regulative principles of the Bhakti Yoga. So, just wanted to understand whether it was anywhere defined in Bhagavad Gita, like what are the principles we need to follow. That was number one. Second was regarding the working for Krishna. I just wanted to clarify here that does it mean that only by doing the activities like distributing like books or other things, or going in the temple and doing some activities, are the only activities which are considered working for Krishna, or even in our day-to-day life what we are working, and if we dedicate our activities to Krishna, that is also considered working for Krishna? Yeah, these are the 2 points, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks, Prabhuji, for asking the question. So I'll come to second question and then move to first question. Yeah, working for Krishna can also include other things. That's why we follow under the footsteps of Acharyas. How Acharyas never say that give up your whatever the current roles and responsibilities and then join the temple and then work for Krishna. No, Acharyas never prescribed that. Acharya says whatever state you are, wherever you are, whatever you do, dedicate that activities to the service of the Lord. That's why even cooking, washing, whatever it is, dedicate that activity. Like consider the home to be a temple. Don't think that this is my home, and think that this is Krishna's home. So if I'm cleaning, then I'm cleaning the Krishna's home is what? A temple. If I'm cleaning, then I'm thinking I'm cleaning the temple. So if I'm serving, and then I'm serving the Lord. So even that is considered as the work for Krishna. But yes, if we are in a situation like that, even that is considered a fine. And to answer your first question on the regulative principles, that is what we will see when we go to the level 3, where it has been clearly, here Krishna says the regulative principles, but that has been clearly elaborated in the Nectar of Devotion and also in Nectar of Instruction. So when we read that, then we will know what are all the regulative principles. Actually, Nectar of Devotion clarify everything. Okay, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you very much. Is it possible to get access to that book, Nectar of Devotion?
We have that in Veda base. Soft copy of that. It's also available. Like actually, if from the temple, it is. I think it is also one of the books they offer when we take up level 2. Level 2, they have some book set. So it is also one of the level 2 or level Bhakti Vriksha. I think, yeah, it is one of the books offered in, if we go to this ISKCON of Mangalore thing. I will try to find, or else it is also
Okay,
available. Hard copy is also available in Amazon, and soft copy is always there in Veda base.
okay, Mataji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now, if people is going to say that, okay, no, I can't do that. Even this, it's not possible for me. I can't give up all my activities. I can't just come and work for you, Krishna. It's not possible for me. So Krishna is going to say, अतेतत् अप्यसक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यथात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in the consciousness, then try to act giving up all the results of your work and try to be self-situated. So what is Krishna trying to say? Okay, giving up the results, like we saw in during the first 6 chapters, right? Give up your results, right? If I'm earning, then that's why Acharya says, give up some portion of your earnings, like the charity, to the service of the Lord. So give up the results. It can be anything, even if you are not earning, right? Don't take the credit to yourself. Even if I'm cleaning the house or putting things together, don't take credit to yourself. Give the credit to Krishna. The result is for Krishna. So do in this way. So Krishna is saying, if not, try to give up your results of your work. And giving up the results of your work means sacrifice accumulated results to some good cause. How that helps? One may gradually elevate to the state of knowledge. Example, social service, community service, all these things. Such sacrifice of hard-earned results purify the mind, and one can gradually understand the Krishna consciousness. श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानाध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागास्त्यागाश्चान्तिरनन्तरम्. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than the knowledge, however, is meditation. And better than the meditation is the renunciation of the fruits of action, by which such renunciation one can attain the peace of mind. This is also one of the key verse. So what Krishna is saying, we have read in first 6 chapters, right? Renounce your results. Karma nevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadasha. See, from the 2nd chapter we have been trying to read. So what is Krishna is saying? If you cannot take into practice, for either cultivation of knowledge, like knowledge is like the jnana, okay? And better than the jnana is the meditation, which is the dhyana yoga. Why? Because in meditation, we are able to control the senses and we are able to fix our mind on the Supreme Lord. And better than the dhyana is the renunciation of fruits of action. Here, the renunciation of fruits of action is the bhakti. That is what Krishna is trying to say. it was not directly implied, but if we read through the explanations of the works from the Acharyas, what Acharyas is trying to say is here Krishna means the renunciation of the fruits of actions means the Bhakti Yoga. Because only in the Bhakti Yoga, people who work in the devotional service, they don't take anything credit for themselves. They try to work for Krishna. Okay, and what is the result of working for Krishna? Then such renunciation can one attain peace because they will get the shantir, like tyaga shantir anantaram. So they will get shanti. And when they get, or when their mind is in equilibrium, then they will be able to understand the personal characteristics of the Lord. So this is, we have to read the explanation through the works of Acharyas. If we just try to read, we won't be able to understand because it will just say, oh, you mean to what? Just attain fruits of action. Is it still pointing out to Karma Yoga? No. Here it is pointing to Bhakti Yoga, and here renunciation means giving up all the activities, like whatever they have accumulated, and they attain the peace of mind. So we have seen until if you cannot work for the Krishna, then what is it recommending? Then one can gradually understand the Lord. Okay. So renunciation fruit is better than meditation. Knowledge will develop into meditation. Okay. The cultivation of knowledge, like this we saw, the Brahma Jnana, and then the meditation, and then finally they will be able to get the Bhakti Yoga. Why renunciation of fruit is mentioned better than meditation? Although Karma Yoga, although Karma Yoga is slowest on the yoga ladder, Krishna said it is better than meditation because it is more practical and it does not disturb the mind with harsh and impractical requirements of the renunciation. So this was the progressive stages of bhakti. Actually, it is the progressive stages of love. Love of whom? Of love of Krishna is what he is trying to explain. He's not giving up on any person. Okay, I'm not able to. Okay, people who has the right Sukruti, they are able to do the right thing based on their level. Okay, if somebody is able to fix in mind on Krishna, they can take it up. If somebody is not, wherever ladder I fall into, I will just pick it up from there because eventually it will progress further. So Krishna is not giving up on anybody. Wherever we are, whatever we do, that's why Mahaprabhu came to specifically install this. Even a grihastha can be a great devotee. Mahaprabhu, though he took up sannyasa, he did not prescribe sannyasa for everybody. Whatever he actually, most of his associates were like grihastha associates when Mahaprabhu came. So we don't have to worry about, oh, I am in this situation, I am in this precarious situation, I can't take it up, I can't do this. No. There is no such situation that Lord is not aware of. If we are in this situation, then Krishna has put us in this situation for some reason. From that, how are we able to take it up and prove further? Just 1 second. How are we able to take it up and move further? That's what Krishna is looking into, because he does not want us to go back and then act like any cats and dogs. So wherever we are, whatever we do, we will be able to take it up. Now Krishna is going to talk about the qualities that are dear to him, from the highest to lowest. One who is not envious, but is kind of friend to all living entities, who does not think himself as a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on Krishna, such a devotee of mine is very dear to him. So what is Krishna saying? Whoever has these qualities, okay, they are very dear to him. What is that? He stays in equilibrium because he knows that nothing belongs to him. So what is that belongs to him that he has to be worried about? He understands that everything belongs to Supreme Lord. So he is free from false ego. Why do we get ego? Why do we get that? Because we think it is mine, me, myself, right? And everything should work according to my will. But person who is doing a devotional service, he knows everything belongs to the Lord, correct? And everything happens at the will of the Supreme Lord. And so he will not be agitated or overexcited. So both in happiness and distress, he will be tolerant. So that's why Mahaprabhu came to impart this knowledge, like Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuma. That is a very key verse. Yeah. And it is very simple verse, but it has lot of potence. Because in the previous verse, Mahaprabhu would have said, Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. Right? There is no hard and fast rule to utter the name of the Supreme Lord. But even then, you can chant everywhere, anywhere. There is no hard and fast rule. But even then, people are not able to experience that bliss. Why? Because they don't have this characteristics of what is that characteristics? Trinadapi Sunishena. They don't think themselves as the humblest of all. They don't think themselves like that's why Mahaprabhu said, in order to progress, we have to be tolerant. Okay, we can't just be agitated. We have to be satisfied. Only then we can gain self-control. Okay, so these are all the characteristics. So people who have these characteristics, people in the sense devotee who have these characteristics, they are very dear to Krishna. He for whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anxiety, who is steady in happiness and distress, is very dear to him. Like what Krishna said in previous thing, like yes, he is that person who is steady in happiness and distress, then he is very dear to Krishna. A devotee अनपेक्षसु चिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गताव्यताः सर्वारंभ परित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः समे प्रियः. Who's very close to Krishna. Now, a devotee who is not dependent on ordinary course of activities, who is pure, except without cares, free from all pain, and who does not strive for some result, is very dear to him. So, that person, like who does not care and for any results and who is free from pain and happiness, that person is very dear to Krishna. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, who renounced both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear. So what is it? Subha Ashubha Parityagi. So both auspicious and inauspicious. Like why it says both auspicious? So neither good or nor bad. He is not agitated. So the common theme that is lying in all these verses is that devotee is not agitated for anything. Why he is not agitated? He always stays equipoised because he knows everything happens at the will of the Supreme Lord. And he does not have any control. We can do only our part. And the Lord will do his part. So, like in any endeavor, we have to work. The senior devotee says, in any activity or in any endeavor, we have to work in such a way that the whole result is dependent on us. So, when we are preparing, we have to prepare in such a way that whole result lies on us. Once the activity is done, then we have to leave the results to Supreme Lord. We can put only one thing. What is required from us is the endeavor. Okay, that we have to give 100%. But the result, the outcome, that is given by the Supreme Lord. Then we should not worry about it. We have to think that everything is dependent on the Supreme Lord. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness, distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contamination, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and engaged in devotional service, is very dear to me. So this honor, dishonor, heat, cold, we have seen this since chapter 2, right? Mata Sparshasthu Kaunteya, Shitosna Sukha Dukkada, honor, dishonor, even in 6th chapter, even in 2nd chapter, we have seen like who is always calm, who is always equipoised, and who is satisfied, and who doesn't care for any who is fixed in knowledge, he is also very dear to Krishna. He who follows this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage himself with faith, making me the supreme goal, is very, very dear to me. So Krishna is giving the final verdict here. So whoever is able to follow this devotional service and whoever is engaged himself with faith, faith is the very important ingredient in the devotional service. So that's why Shraddha, it starts with the stages of devotion, starts with Shraddha. Shraddha is very important. Only then the other stages of bhakti will be easy or revealed unto you. You will be able to progress only when there is a first ladder, right? If there is no first ladder, how can we directly go to the second one? No. So Shraddha is the very key component. And Shraddha, we will get Shraddha only if that devotee has attained the Sukruti. Unless and otherwise, he matures his Sukruti quotient, he won't be able to get faith. You are all attending this session for a long time. So there is definitely some faith component in it. So just try to progress further and just keep that faith. And how can you build that faith? Only through devotee association, like-minded devotee association if possible, or at least devotee association. Only through devotee association, our faith get strengthened and we will be able to progress further. Okay. So what is Krishna saying? Whoever follows his imperishable path of devotion, he is very dearest to him. Making Krishna as a supreme goal of life is completely engaged themselves with faith. So whoever has these characteristics, whoever follows this, is very dear to Krishna. So with chapter 12, we conclude the Bhakti section of Bhagavad Gita. Like we saw, chapter 1 to 6 was like Karma section. And chapter 7 to 12, Krishna elaborately spoke about Bhakti, where how Bhakti is very significant. And in this chapter, we saw how practicing Bhakti Yoga, they will be able to attain the Supreme Lord. And we saw the stages of this progressive devotional service. Even wherever state we are, whatever thing we do, we all acharyas try to prescribe this, just add the component of Krishna in it. If we add the component of Krishna, then we will be able to progress further. And Krishna is also directly saying, so it is not interpreting. Acharyas are not interpreting. Even Krishna is saying, whoever is able to take it up this devotional service and whoever fixes their mind, whoever works for him, that person is considered to be very dear to him. One who makes Krishna as the goal of his life. Like Prabhupada, right? Even when he left Vrindavan, he never left Vrindavan. Maybe to the physically he was not there, but all his minds and thoughts were still with Vrindavan. Only through Prabhupada. Prabhupada was able to bring Vrindavan to outside Vrindavan, or else it would be still within those square areas. So he was able to give Vrindavan to outside world. So even when he was in states, he still had Vrindavan in it. So similarly, it is very hard to follow, but we should at least know what is the Krishna's prescribing. We should know what is it. At least some form, even in 24 hours, are we able to think of Krishna even for a minute? Focus, are we able to focus? That's why Acharyas prescribe, we follow the sadhana bhakti, like do the chanting process. So at least that time you will be able to think Krishna. Even whole one round, all 108 times, if we are not able to focus, one time we would have focused. So that is itself is more sufficient. I mean, not more sufficient. I will say that itself will add lots of credit. But we have to understand that we don't want to settle for less. We have been in this material universe for a long, long time. We just can't think, okay, just by chanting one time sincerely, I will be able to get the perfection. No, because we have a lot of anarthas. So in order to get rid of all our anarthas, we have to focus more and then perform the devotional service so that we are also devoted to Krishna and so that Krishna thinks us also very dear to him. What will happen if we are dear to him? Like Krishna explained in verse 7, Teshamaham samurdarta. Okay, so Krishna will be the swift deliver from swift deliver when we are suffering in this material portion. So with this, the chapter 12 is concluded. Chapter 12 is very small. It is like the conclusive part of the Bhakti Yoga, where Krishna is signifying the importance of Bhakti Yoga and what is the benefit if somebody follows it. Are there any questions?